Hi everyone, my name is Joseph Anajar. I'm a musician from Montreal, Canada, and today I'm going to teach you this cool guitar lick. But before we get started, there's a few things I'd like to mention quickly. A lot of new things happening. I'm in this new space. I have this new guitar, and I'll talk about this guitar in a different video, and you'll see this new space kind of evolve as I get more settled in. So that's kind of why I have been a little bit less active. A lot of other things have happened, first portrait show, all this stuff. I'm kind of going to get back on the content train now and kind of try to keep it up, you know what I'm saying? One more thing before we get into this lick. Last month, me and Giuseppe Gilardi teamed up to put out an improvisation course. It's called Intuitive Improvisation, and it's kind of a really comprehensive improvisation guide. Takes you from really basic theory to very advanced sort of like mindfulness, sort of like improvisational approach subjects. And, if you like my playing, there's going to be some info about that in the description. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into this line. So I think this line might be the hardest line that I've put out on my YouTube channel so far. There's a lot of different techniques, a good amount of selective picking, and a lot of interesting legato stuff and odd groupings and stuff like that. So, don't be afraid to take your time with it and make sure you use a metronome while you're practicing it to make sure that you are being even with your subdivisions and whatnot. You don't want to be like rushing or dragging any part of it. So it's very constant subdivisions, except for one section. So you want to make sure that you kind of stay on top of that, or else it's not going to be very cool. So let's get into it. So first thing, lick is an A flat minor or E Lydian or that sort of tonality, right? And we start here with this sort of selective picking pattern that I've been abusing lately. It's kind of like a 9 sort of shape, and it's the 7, the 7, the 11, and the root of A flat. So, and we do exactly this. I do hammer on from nowhere for these first 3 notes, and then I pick twice on the root, right? So that already is going to be very difficult for people that have never like messed around with selective picking. But from my journey with it, as soon as you understand the sort of first finger hammer on from nowhere thing, as soon as that feels a little bit less awkward for you, you'll see you'll be flying through it. So moving on, then I pull off to the 5th, and then I go back down to the 11, and then I hit the 9 of A flat. So, and actually pick that 9 a second time. So like that. See what I'm saying? And then the very next thing I do is an open B string with my pluck finger, my middle finger, like a hybrid picking sort of thing. And that's kind of what I've been messing around with a lot with selective picking, the sort of replacing some of it with hybrid picking and open strings. It's kind of been really interesting, and I've been like feeling really, really creative with these patterns. So maybe I write some music with it. But anyways, in this line, I'm kind of using this pattern. Obviously in the line, I don't loop it like that, but you can loop it, and it's 2 groups of 5s. So anyways, so that's the first part of the lick. And then I go back to the 7th. And then I do 7, root, 11 with my pinky. And you could do it with the ring finger if you want to, but because of the next part of the line, I'm trying to be intentional with my finger choice, because I need to pull off with my to my first finger on this 9. So you know what I'm saying? So I hammer these 3 notes out of nowhere, and then I pick the 11th twice. Again, more selective picking. And then that's where I pull off to the 9. So that's the first part of the line. Then we get a little bit more, we use some chromaticisms. Pull off to the 9. Then I hammer onto the minor 3rd. Then I go to the 5th with my ring finger. And then I pull off to the flat 5 with my first finger. And then I hit this 11 from nowhere, pick it once, and then hybrid pick the 11 on the B string to get this kind of like same note 3 times thing. So that's where like you might start getting like having some trouble. So this stuff is kind of annoying and odd timing and also weird techniques. So take your time with it. But so far, here's what we got. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I repeat this group of 3 one more time. So do you know what I'm saying? And just so I'm clear, it's pinky from nowhere, pick, and then pluck the same note but on the different string. Right? So that's like a C sharp each time, or a D flat. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the pattern. So and then the next thing I do, I hammer my middle finger from nowhere on the 9. And then I do another little simple hammer from nowhere, pick, pluck pattern where I do 9, 7, pick, and then pluck the roots here on the first fret of the G string. So far, here's what we got. I'll play it slowly. That's a lot of stuff. This is difficult. This is a difficult line. So that's what we got so far. Then we do a couple groups of 3s and a couple groups of 5s like this. So that's 3rd, 11, root, 3rd, 11, root. And then we go back to do 11, 9 with the, so it's like a group of 2 groups of 3s and a group of 5. So then we pull off to this pentatonic little side kind of figure. So this little thing, and then we do a group of 3 again, and then we do the we do 3, 11, 5, and then we kind of go down an arpeggio. So it's 3, 11, 5, 3, root, flat 7, flat 6. And that's the only note in this line that happens for a not 1/16th note. It happens for a bit longer. So you could do a position switch. And then we keep going. But let me just kind of do that slowly again for people that might need a bit of repetition. So the couple groups of 3s, group of 5, then pentatonic, then another group of 3, and then. And what I've found with this pattern, that sort of thing, is you kind of have to like preload your middle finger onto the right string to get it. Like I'm preemptively putting that on the D string, or else I'm going to miss it. You see what I'm talking about? So that's something that you might want to think about while you're practicing up the speed. It took me a while to sort of remember that I had to preemptively move my middle finger to kind of get ready for that next note. Anyways, next we're going to do a little bit of a position switch. And we do this kind of arpeggiated sort of B major 7 sort of idea, I guess. So we go, so if we're in B major, I do major 7, root, 3, 6, 7, root. And then after the root, I sort of hybrid pick the 5th. And then I pick the 3rd. And then I go up in perfect fourths. So that's 3, 13, 9. And that might be a fingering that might be a little bit awkward for some of you guys, but it's kind of cool. I really dig this one. That's middle finger, ring finger, pinky. It kind of avoids the awkward finger rolling thing, and it's you know, it's a cool technique to have. It makes some saxophone vocabulary kind of easier to play sometimes. After that, we pull off to the root, and then I go back to the 13th, and then I go to the major 7th. So that sort of thing. And then from here, I hammer on a pentatonic shape. So it's, what is that? That's 6th fret, 9th fret, 11th fret. And then I pull off back to the 6th fret right away. And then I go down an arpeggio. And that is, I guess it's a B major arpeggio as well. 13, perfect 5th, major 3rd, root, major 6th, perfect 5th, 9, 1. And again, there's kind of a pinky ring finger sort of fourth happening here that might be a little bit awkward for some of you guys. But once again, having this in my arsenal of techniques has kind of made a lot of different vocabulary much easier to play. So before we get to the final part of the line, let me kind of recap a little bit. So that's where we're at. After that, we do another position switch. We do, so that's 7, 9, 11, and then I play the 9th fret of the A string, and then I do this. So I do 11, 12 on the E string. Oops. And it's important to note that I don't do this. I slide my ring finger because I have to go do this afterwards. So I kind of am prepping my pinky to kind of stay in this sort of spread fingering idea. So after this sort of, I guess, E major 7 kind of idea. I guess an E major triad rather. Wait, major 7. Major 7, E, major 3rd, perfect 5th, root. Then I do one of these contraction position switches where I'm open like this, but then I pivot, and then I hammer on this A flat here to once again do another pentatonic idea where I do A flat, minor 3rd, perfect 5th, minor 7, and then the 3rd. So, and then the very last thing in the line is we do this B major arpeggio shape, which is major 7, root, 3rd, major 6th, major 7, root, 9, 5. And that's pick, hammer, pick, pluck, hammer, slide, pick, pluck. So again, I'll play the lick slowly. And that's it. So there's a lot of different stuff in this lick, lots of different techniques that if you're having trouble with, I would isolate and sort of practice in a vacuum. Yeah, you know, make sure you're not tensing up, make sure that you're playing this all very slowly. If you find something that's interesting, isolate it, make an exercise out of it, all these sorts of smart, good practice things to do. Yeah, my name is Joseph Anajar. Thank you for watching this video. If you learned this lick, don't be afraid to tag me. I love seeing people playing these difficult things that I come up with. And yeah, if you like the way that I play, I have some music in the description. And my course, Intuitive Improvisation, is out now. And I'll see all you guys very soon in the next video, okay? All right. See ya.